Have an emotional support gun.
Yeah, that worked. Pretty sprinkled.
All right. Exactly. Where did he go? There we go.
He ran away.
Okay, just out of curiosity, before we run the title and all that, does anybody see what I see about this particular cover image?
What?
It's a girl wearing it.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was there ever a girl in the movie wearing the backpack at any point?
Not a young girl, but a female, yes.
Yes.
Like, seriously, get out.
I mean, other than what's his face's
Like, right now.
fantasy girlfriend.
Yeah.
No,
That's
just
better.
that one.
Yeah.
So,
On that
yet
note,
again,
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to another episode of Tomb of the Terrible. No, I am not UncleNecRo. He cannot be here for today, and send him much love and hope he feels better soon. With us today, we do have Josh, Ron, Tom Dog, and Raz. And we have watched this wonderful emotional tale of a man who bought a backpack at a yard sale, and the backpack fell madly in love with him and killed all those who wronged him. And then when he decided the backpack was not helping him the way it should, he tried to break up with it, and then it tried to kill him too. And then he had to do what you had to do and get rid of the backpack.
I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, what would you do if you got fired from Dora and replaced with a younger backpack?
That would be saddening.
Yep.
I would try to kill her too.
Yep. Backpack.
Kick Map's ass first.
And Ron, you'll find that most horror movie covers, even Hollywood, well, more indie than Hollywood, but don't have accurate representations on their cover art.
because the people making the cover art haven't actually seen the movie.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah, what Josh said.
like when I did Slashers, we had 2 other possible covers that we sent to them, and they cut me out of one of the pictures and put it into the poster with 2 other people I'd never fucking met in my life who weren't even in the movie on either side of me. And we were just like, oh, okay, thank you, Brain Damage Films.
I'm
And they
sure
did
that's
watch the
one that you
movie.
chose, right? That's the one that you picked to use. That one. I'm sure that's the one you chose.
It was just one of those weird things, man. Like it's about what's profitable, what's marketable, things like that.
So this company is the same company that brought us Amityville Karen, Amityville Death Toilet, and oddly enough, bad CGI sharks.
Yep.
So
And it's currently
I
making
guess-
Amityville Backrooms.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So was
Um.
Bad CGI Sharks like their
um,
most recent? Which was their most recent?
I don't know. We will have to look that up. But first, let's go through the roster of things we're supposed to do. Because this is
Just hope.
I just want to get this movie, find out what everybody wants to think or has to think. Let's do the wraparound and we'll be last. Ron, what was your first thoughts about this movie?
My first impression. All right. My first impression was that I was a little confused by the premise because I was wondering how they were going to tie this into the Amityville franchise, or if they were even going to, considering that some of the other movies that we have watched didn't have anything to do with the Amityville franchise whatsoever, even though they have Amityville in the title, which apparently this is also the case, kind of, in a way, maybe, except for one line in the entire movie that sort of explains it. But they try to tie it in by making the front of the backpack look like the front of the house from Amityville Horror. Okay, fine, cool. You know, what a callback. Hooray. But then I started wondering, how is this backpack going to kill people? Like, what kind of creativity will they use? And I mean, okay, one of the things that I liked about it, jumping ahead a little bit, was I did like the way that they did like the red glowing inside the backpack to, you know, make it look like demonic and possessed and all that. All right, but that was cool. But man, I really didn't get the whole drill bit thing. And I mean, okay, but like, how? I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, I guess if you're gonna find a way to try to off people with a backpack, that's one way to do it, but, you know, they don't really explain it or anything, so sure, you know, okay. Um, my first impression was basically, "Oh, it's one of those movies. Okay." And it was all downhill from there.
You got Pond
Okay.
Dog reaching into a wall. His hand is facing to the wall. Help him.
He's getting his emergency water.
The Amityville backdrop.
Right.
I can meant to it.
I figured out a way to turn it to Gumby.
Okay, Gumby. Now that in theory you're done with your window, what were your first impressions?
My first impressions was, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Coming up, of picking this movie to be on the wheel, and what you guys are about to see, folks, that everybody's watching right now, is that this is going to be my apology episode.
I actually feel less bad for making you guys watch Winter Beast now.
Yeah. I think I would rather watch that than this movie. And but yeah, so right now 2 for 2 for picking the worst Amityville callbacks.
And they're both by the same company.
Yes. What were the odds? What were the odds? And I think they went into the same acting school too, because they got the boss that, they had that boss that sounds, insert.
Hell, I thought it was the same guy.
It was.
Yeah,
It is
It was
the
the
same
same
guy.
actor.
The boss and the mayor are the same guy.
That explains a lot. See, there you go.
I am batting 1,000, folks. So again, this is my intervention. I'm actually a guest on here saying, Tom Dog, we're concerned about you.
Yeah.
You need help.
What were your first impressions, Raz?
I was like, okay, this might be cool. This guy's just hanging around. Get it? Backpack hanging around. I knew it was obviously super low budget, but it was gonna be, an Amityville horror movie that's not a canon Amityville. But like immediately the film quality was real low. I'm talking that really bad shark movie that we watched with the drawing of the shark coming to life movie that we watched forever ago. Like it was worse than that, and already I was a little bit like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I've seen some movies like this quality that I've kind of enjoyed, so I got into it a little farther. And then the first time you see the backpack walk, I thought it was already like someone was already wearing it. And so you see a shot like from underneath it and there's nothing below it. Because if you look really close, you can see a guy underneath the backpack holding it up because the camera tilts too far a couple times. And the first time it shows the backpack wandering by itself. It's a sequence right before it jumps in the pool for no reason. And then you can see the hand holding the backpack up from the undershot that you're not supposed to see. And I'm like, Jesus, they didn't even try to hide, like, there was no attempt here, man. Like, no attempt to hide anything off camera here. Like, and then it just felt like, do what?
We're echoing.
I'm trying to figure out from where. Okay, not sure. But then it just, I don't know. There's clearly some people having fun and making a movie, man, and that was about it. So not high first impressions. Although I was high.
You'd have to be for this movie. Unfortunately, we weren't.
Man, I prepared with a blunt that had Space Jam Moon Rocks in it, Super Boof Herb, and Keef, like all in one blunt. And I sat there and I smoked this whole thing and went inside and said, I'm going to watch this movie. And I'm like, man, it would be like impossible for me not to at least enjoy myself right now. And then I didn't. I was very surprised.
What about you? What were your first impressions?
I was not drunk enough for this.
You weren't drunk at all.
That's the problem. I'm still stuck on what was the point of everybody having three random limbs.
We'll definitely get to that.
Yeah, that confused the ever-loving shit out of me. But yeah, this movie kind of hurt. Well, not kind of. This movie hurt.
For me, I figured since I would probably be the stand-in James because UncleNecRo isn't here, I tried to do my best to do like him and take notes. And I had a whole lot of what am I watching notes. And you can't find any 5 stars for this thing, and my whole entire thought process is it's the same movie, people. I don't think I want to watch this the rest of the way, but I don't have a choice. Okay. Before I asked what we liked about this movie, I do agree with Stephen. Amityville Thanksgiving has an evil turkey on it. There was no freaking turkey in the god-awful movie at all.
That's true. There was none.
I'm glad we didn't watch it.
No, we watched this instead. I'm not sure that was a better choice.
Neither am I.
There
I'm
at
wondering
least
if Stephen is referring to maybe the cover art for Amityville Thanksgiving. I haven't seen the cover art for it, so I don't know. He may be referring to there is an evil turkey on the cover of that, but there's no turkey in the movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's what
haven't
he's
seen
saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what he's saying.
it. Okay.
and well, he had also said that it was not a kid-friendly movie, and the whole movie was about a couple trying to figure out. Well, at least the wife was trying to figure out how to make the marriage work, and the guy wasn't the best.
Right. That's putting it mildly.
Yeah, I
Yes,
haven't
yes, I
seen
am.
Amityville Thanksgiving yet, so I don't know.
Okay, Ron, what did you like about this movie?
What did I like about this movie? I knew that I was going to be asked this question, so I gave it some serious thought to try to come up with a suitable answer. And the only thing I can really think of that I liked about this movie is the cat. And I I I'm so glad that the cat was not unalived and managed to not be in this movie. It was the lucky one to not have to sit through this schlock and only had two small bits in the movie at the beginning and at the end. And I'm kind of envious of that cat that it didn't have to sit through all of this. You know, it was a cute cat, and that's really about all I got because this movie doesn't have a lot of redeeming qualities. But they didn't kill the cat, so
Raz?
yeah.
That's
The
good then.
backpack looked really cool.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
Well, I said that, before, but I was trying to come up with something different.
No, I had nothing different. I mean, I'm also glad they didn't kill the cat. I'm very happy about that. I love animals. I'm very glad they didn't do that. So I guess there's two good things, and you said them both already. And I'm hard pressed to find anything else good about this, man. I would say like it looked like they were having fun when they made it, but I didn't even get the vibe that they were enjoying what they were doing.
What about Tom
Hopefully
Dog?
Tom
What's
Dog
Tom
has something
Dog?
for us.
Sorry, what was the question?
What did you like about this movie?
The ending credits.
Yeah. All right, Josh.
Thief! Thief!
Was that your answer?
Yeah, it ended. That was
I did like the backpack though. The backpack was nice in design, but
Again, the same
the
thing
other
we said.
stuff, yeah, the other stuff on, yeah, and that's weird because I'm having some audio issues. So
No,
I'm switching.
Ron was laughing at me because the only thing I could come up with was that I really liked the backpack, which is what he had said earlier. And that's the only good thing you can come up with too. So it's just funny that's all we got here.
And he wasn't even on screen when you
I
said
know.
it. It's like
Mine would be the idea of the date he had set up. I would love to do that. That sounds like a good way to hang out. I want to do that.
Just not with him.
No, that.
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure.
But he's
Because
cool.
man, that dude took like 20, like I think like 15 to 20 minutes just to explain this date to her. And she cared about it as much as we did.
Yeah.
wasn't even on the phone while he's talking about it. She's gone. She's put the phone down and bailed.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Jeremy. Okay.
Mr. Buddy.
Well,
Georgia.
What did you dislike about this movie, Ron?
Here it comes.
Everything from the beginning of the credits until the end of the credits throughout the movie. I mean, okay, yeah, that's tongue in cheek, but honestly, all right, I mean, God, where do I start? Because it was very bad acting. It was another one of those movies where they don't have a script or just given a situation and basically told to improv their lines. So they repeat everything over and over and over. And it's so fucking annoying. I hate it. I hate when movies do that. And they did a lot of that in Death Toilet as well. And it got on my nerves then. And it got on my nerves with this movie. It's like, come on, hire a fucking writer. Write a goddamn script. Try to at least memorize your lines, or maybe have big fucking cue cards off screen so that you can read them. Because I would much rather hear somebody reading the lines than trying to improvise dialogue. They have no idea what they're saying. You don't need to repeat everything 15 fucking times. Like double L, Larry the loser. How many times can you say that? It's like, okay, we get it. And the thing is we never actually see the dude work. We don't know. I mean, we don't even know what he does for a living. It was never actually explained. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't care. And the girlfriend, what was her name?
The dream girl.
The dream girl. Yeah.
Delilah.
I can't even say she was a manic pixie dream girl. She was so not there the whole time. You know, I think that he's dreaming and they have an on-screen kiss. I'm like, how much did they pay her to do that? I'm pretty sure that's probably like the only kiss he's ever had in his life. I'm talking about the actor, not the character. It's just there was no chemistry.
Else does the girl in the
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, there was no chemistry between them because she didn't care. It's like she wasn't even using him for his money or anything. She just didn't care. She wasn't there. Like, why even bother writing her into the movie? She could have been a whole fictional girlfriend and just stayed like the dream girl, but they needed to have somebody to kill. And I don't know. It's just so many things about it didn't make sense. Like trying to do it as a podcast or having these cuts to third-party people saying that the Amity backpack legend is not real. I'm like, why are you putting these in the movie? If you're going to put them in the movie, at least set it up and then expound upon it. You can always come back to it and tell a little bit more of the story, maybe have some dialogue between, people that were there or witnessed this thing or whatever. But the cuts are just like from people you don't know who they are or why they're there. You could have just taken it out and the movie still would have sucked just as much. You didn't even need them. They were so unnecessary. It's just there to fill screen time. And
they put money in the movie. They had to go somewhere.
Is it one of those Kickstarter things where they have level rewards? If you put money toward it, then we'll say, hey, we'll put you in our movie. We don't
Yes,
really
actually.
have any idea of how we're going to put you in the movie, so we're going to film these sections, and that's going to be you in the movie. Is that what it was? I don't know.
Yes, it was. They did an Indiegogo for this movie.
Did they?
Yes.
They must have had one hell of a trailer for the Indiegogo for people to actually want to donate money toward this project, because
they didn't.
I can't imagine these people were satisfied with the final product that they put their money toward. It was so just not even well put together. I mean, you could have at least shown a little bit of gore instead of, the shit. What's the name of the Spirit Halloween? Like all the fake plastic props and the blood and everything, like the brains and whatnot sitting on the counter. I'm like, how did a backpack do that? How
Oh,
can
dude,
you do
those
that?
those were not even spirit level props. Those were the ones you can get like at the Dollar General and the Dollar Tree and shit. Where they bring their Halloween stuff out. It was that level.
They were so bad, and like the deflated janitor person, like what is that about? How did the backpack do that? Okay, I mean, it never really shows how that happens. I mean, you've got a hidden drill in the backpack. Nobody saw this thing. Nobody even bothered to open up the backpack to see what was in it. Not a single person opened that damn backpack. I mean, is the drill visible when you open the backpack? If all it's doing is just drilling through your back, then leave it at that. How is it creating this kind of carnage? I don't get it. I mean, okay, it's a possessed backpack, and we see it go off on backpack day out with, sitting by the pool and skateboarding and, I don't get it. If it's a demonic backpack, I guess, demons want to take a vacation too, but just, I can't even get my thoughts straight on all the things that I dislike about this movie, because there was really nothing to like about this movie. It all just kind of sucked in its own way. I think that's about the only way I can put it, except the cat. And the cat was the lucky one because it didn't have to be in the movie.
Dodged a bullet.
Or a backpack.
Yep.
All right, I'm done with my rant. That sucked. It's terrible.
Okay, Raz. What did you like? Or what did you dislike?
The entire movie, again, everything Ron says is a lot of what I was going to say. The biggest letdown to me by far was the death scenes, man. They were so terrible. Her death scene, Delilah, or whatever her name was, hers was the worst. The way they kept like doing the footage of it and had her screaming like, "Ah, ah." And then they had like an echo effect where it was echoing on, like it was like an echo chamber of her screaming, and this was the worst death scene I have ever seen in a movie.
Oh, they
I've seen
kept
a lot.
repeating her screen. It was on a loop.
Yeah, it was on a loop with an echo.
Yeah.
That and she kept dancing the whole time.
And she's like, ah. No, it was the worst death scene ever. There was no anything. This movie, I don't even know what they did with the budget. Maybe they went out and bought the $100 camcorder, and then that was it.
They used it for
I
the
don't know.
backpack. They paid for the backpack.
Yeah,
what it was.
honestly, to have a backpack, they probably had to have it designed like that or something, because that's yeah.
Well, yeah, it's in the credits at the beginning of the movie that the prop creator for the backpack, it's actually credited at the beginning of the movie.
Okay,
That's probably
okay.
where their budget went.
I missed that. Yep,
Yeah,
it all went to
in
that.
some scenes you can see the super glue where they cut out the holes for the windows.
Yeah,
And glued the screens on there. You can see the big ass glob super glue.
yep. I don't know if I'd want to have been credited for that.
Right?
I mean, this is gonna sound absolutely awful of me. I thought it was maybe some kind of like. No, I'm not gonna say it out loud because there's no way that's gonna not absolutely sound terrible. I don't know why it was so bad. I thought I might know why, and I looked up some stuff, and I just found out it was some people that were cash grabbing and making one movie after the other, and they're just an example of what not to do. But you did something that made me say something that made me laugh a lot, Ron. You're talking about Amityville, then you said you're talking about how the podcast's cutting in. But right now, if someone donates us $5,000, we will make Amityville the podcast. Right now. In the course of this show, if someone donates $5,000, we will make it.
You heard it here first, people.
And it will still be better than that. The Amityville backpack. It'll be better than the Amityville Death Toilet and Amityville backpack combined.
I believe it. Because we are creative.
And
we
also,
know what we're doing.
I'm using the very microphone they used in the Amityville house. You know, that's the premise. That's it.
Alrighty. And well, it's not like we don't have all the props from multiple haunts at our
Yeah.
Ain't that
fingertips.
the truth?
There'd be actual blood in the movie, so that would already be an improvement.
It's not like we don't have a full roster of actors that we can pull from.
No.
I know, right?
Fucking nuts, man.
Tom Dog, what did you dislike about this movie?
Oh God, here it comes.
I know, right?
Tom's rearing back like,
Well,
Pretty much everything that Chaos has said, pretty much that everything that Ron has said, pretty much everything that Raz has said is nothing to compare to what I'm about to say.
oh God.
First off, the beginning of the movie. Kid spontaneously combusts. Then
he was the drummer
we
for
have-
Spinal Tap. That's why.
Yeah, and then we have the credit in the credits. It's written, directed, and edited by one guy. There's your whole problem right there. It was written and directed and edited by one guy.
Well,
But yet, all these producers, you had all these producers, but one to do the task of three.
well, hang on, because there are exceptions to that rule. If we talk about Chuck Morangiello for Amityville, what the hell is the name of the road? Misery Road. Same thing with him. He and his wife both wrote it, directed, and she edited it, and it was still by far way better than this movie.
And we got but we got Bougie in the movie. I think that's what this movie was missing. It was missing Bougie.
Yeah, there
Would've
was
made the
no
movie a
booty
little bit
booty in
better,
this
huh?
movie.
All right.
All right, go ahead. I'm
Hole's
sorry to
just a
interrupt.
hole.
Yeah, right.
Still my favorite song coming out of this series. Still my favorite song. I don't care what anybody says. Judge me. But I felt bad for the cat because that was the only good thing about the movie. I did forget about that. The violence or lack thereof. The guy got drilled in the back. Why isn't there no blood coming out from his back? At least even I don't care if it was like ketchup. Just give us some blood. I mean, really. I mean, they literally half-assed it with these fake props, and it was like pretty much pretty much cut and paste all the things I said about Death Toilet onto this, and the constant repeating, and the guys and the guys in the other room still talking shit about him, and it's just like, it's like, and yeah, I agree with Ron. What do they do? They never explain what they didn't do. And they're trying to make this, and somehow I think they were trying to make this into a kid film because there was like, oh, why aren't you talking, backpack? I'm like, dude, this isn't Dora the Explorer, okay? Don't ask me how I know that.
Backpack.
And you know what? I would actually like to see Backpack just be that one that just be the Amityville Backpack who just had enough of Dora's shit and just go on a murderous rampage.
Yep.
I'd rather watch that than this.
Oh my God. The entire sequence when the boss thought that the guy was leaving the backpack for him, he's going to stop calling him a loser now. That was the most like hard to watch scene in any movie ever because the guy just rambles and says his lines like I think about 9 or 10 different times and almost the same exact way in a row. And the only difference is he's sitting or moving in a different position when he says it.
And then he's
It was the worst example of it.
Oh, I should have hired my son. I should have hired my son.
Well,
Like,
now he's saying that guy's like a son to him because he left him this nice new backpack. And I'm like, dude, okay, we don't need 10 minutes of that. This was nothing but padding and filler.
I will admit though, that was funny when at the end of the movie there was this backpack and then some random kid just said, "Oh, look, a backpack." Yoink.
Yeah.
That was pretty. I will admit that was pretty funny. It got a chuckle for me, but I think it's because the chuckle was because of the fact that I was glad that this movie was over. So I mean, this was like, it's like, oh my god, horrible, and Uncle NECRO, hope you feel better. Del, I hope you feel better. I mean, I think these Amityville movies got to them, and I think we're the survivors. That's how
I was lucky. I hardly did any of them this time around. But to be fair, I'd seen like 3/4 of them anyway, sadly.
Your brief cameo.
Well, James is like the cat for this particular movie because he's the one that dodged the bullet having to do this episode.
Yeah. But yeah, this was like a tough pill to swallow, and I
And that backpack didn't even have a Bluetooth speaker.
I know that. that would have been a little bit better. But I would like the glow from the windows of the backpack. I thought that was.
9-volt battery Christmas lights. We used to do that shit on the bottom of our roller skates when I was a kid, man. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if they put any more money into it than that, man.
I would like to read the budget on this movie because this was like, this was.
How many Bazooka Joe comics did they have to send in to get the rights for this movie?
I know, right? I mean, please tell me that there was a Kickstarter. Please, I need to know.
There was an Indiegogo campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them wanted their money back after it was made.
Right.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can make returns in the bargain bin. I don't know.
Sadly, though, I'm pretty sure I heard that the camera committed suicide after the making of it.
Oh, speaking of, I'm glad you brought up camera because the camera on this was horrible, especially the dream sequence. The dream sequence was absolutely horrible. It's like I could barely see him. Everything was all bleached out. I'm like, literally, what the hell? It's like, did they literally direct did they really film the shots directly in the sun?
Yeah.
I mean, oh my god. I mean, that's like the biggest no no in filmmaking 101. It's like you cannot and I used to do broadcasting on cable access, and even I know
they didn't white balance the camera before shooting in that area.
Or ever at any point.
Too. And then he goes and makes out with the backpack because of the dream sequence, and I'm like, he did not just do that. He did not just do that. And I'm like, and they just sat there for a while, and
that's how purses are made.
One of the dumb things where like he's trying to get ready for work and he's going through the list like 15 million times. Do I have everything? Did I brush my teeth? Do I have my keys? Did I eat my breakfast? Did I, comb my hair? Am I missing anything? And he does this like 15 times. Now, the whole purpose of the backpack was so that he would get his life organized and have everything in order. And then he leaves the backpack on the bed, completely forgets it, and just goes off. I'm like, what was the point of the backpack? We're just going to leave it there. But then they run through the same bit again later on in the movie. And he's like, oh, I forgot the backpack. Like, what about the last time?
He learned.
But then we want to get that wonderful scene of the backpack having a party in the backyard.
Right?
I'm telling you, this was written to be maybe a 30-35 minute movie that they just were like, oh, fuck.
Something tells me this movie was a family film. I think this is like the only family film because there was literally no swearing. in this movie. And it's like somebody. This had to have been written by a child, and he just gave it to the actual, to the writer and said, "Oh, here you go."
Or like Rod was
Then
saying earlier, I don't think anybody wrote it. I just think he took the writing credit to give himself more credits.
Yeah, I don't think there was an actual script. He said, "This is the situation. Just improvise some dialogue."
Say something.
The only writing he did was the title, Amityville Backpack.
I mean, you'll see this a lot with like comedy movies. They'll have a script, but they'll allow the actors some leeway to improvise some lines and come up with some stuff, and they'll do a couple of different takes, and then they'll use the one take that lands the best, that hits the best, that people react to the most. That's what you get in the final edit. This is like the actor is riffing, and then they don't edit any of it out. It just all stays in there. It's that bad.
Emotional support Zilla.
Do you need your emotional support, Zilla?
Every time I try and bring him on screen, the screen blanks him out, so I'm good. I have the emotional support, Jenny.
Okay, were you done, Tom Dog?
Yeah. I think.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes, because I don't want to copy everybody that's already been said. I think we've all said the same thing.
Terry is great for this.
Well, then it would have been a better movie.
Yeah, right.
He could have played the backpack.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think that's who they were going for.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you not like, husband of mine?
Okay. I'm going to start this off with, I know I probably should have said this in the what I liked about the movie, but I'm going to go ahead and add this here first before I get to the rest of it. The only real funny part in this entire movie is, I'm dying. I should have hired my son.
Yeah.
Like, really? Really? But yeah, what in the hell was with the girlfriend, the dream girl, having 3 feet when she died, Boss Man having 3 hands when he died? Where was that third hand?
And none of them were even the right size for a human being.
No. And I find the dream girl having a brain up there, I think that was a bit of a stretch with the way she was portrayed in this movie.
Yeah.
The brain on itself was a bit of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little too large. Should have downscaled that.
Are you sitting on my lap?
It's Jenny Claus.
Jenny Claus.
Yay! And
man, this movie.
I swear they could have saved so much time and made this movie at least a little bit better just by cutting out half the repeated lines.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't have had a long enough runtime to be an actual film.
They should have just made a little little like 15-minute TV show. Would have been fine.
Yeah, a webisode.
Probably got more views.
It actually would have been amusing and probably kind of funny as a webisode or something like that, like a short, but not a movie, man.
I think what might have happened here was that, they had the idea to make the movie, so they started the Indiegogo, and people said, okay, that's cool, yay, I'll get on board. They throw all this money at it, and they raise like a couple $1,000s or whatever, and then the person that made the movie goes, ooh, money, I'm going to keep this. And then they put out this, low credit card, shoestring budget thing. It said, and they slip that off on the people, and they go laughing all the way to the bank with all of the money that they made from the Indiegogo. And, for a movie that probably cost them like maybe $15 to film.
Yeah.
Here's $5 for the backpack. Here's $10 for the cover art. Y'all
No.
figure out the rest.
Yeah.
Well, they bought the body parts from the Dollar General to spread throughout the movie. So
Yeah.
So about
No, come on.
even
They borrowed
$20.
that from their grandma's like fucking Halloween decorations, from like 1954.
Right.
No,
Warped them.
those props were holdovers from Amityville toilet.
I mean, they definitely were. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They just reused some shit they already had, and
Right.
Jesus, man.
Somebody made money off of this movie, and I don't think it was the actors.
No.
I think it was the people
What were
who
you saying,
were
Tom?
forced to watch this movie.
How did we make money off that? Jesus.
What were you
Well,
saying
no,
about
no, I'm talking about
Delilah?
I'm sorry.
Tell us what you were saying
Oh,
about
yeah.
Delilah Tom Dog.
Oh yeah, Delilah's death scene was a callback to Airplane's flashback sequence when that random guy was dancing with Julie Haggerty.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, she was doing the same move. The thumb was sticking out and everything.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Jim Abrams.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Rest in peace, my IQ after watching this movie.
All right.
You still have one left?
I'm like one. Literally one.
I ain't got that left.
Were you done?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. And because there's 3 pages of WTF. Random things like I'm just gonna pick my favorite one. Instead of Carl that kills people, it kills Carl. I'm pretty sure the show was made just for the movie. Why did the boss have 3 hands and the woman have 3 feet? And of course, the mayor did not learn anything about acting since Amityville toilet. Implied cat murder, Doc's points. The bag keeps changing depending on whether or not it wants to kill people. Why so repetitive? Why? The weirdest transitions. The odd Halloween scene. What's happening? And why is the janitor complaining about not getting paid enough for a backpack he planned on stealing? No blood.
That was his
Where
payment.
the heck did the bodies go? Say what, Raz?
The backpack was his payment.
He still didn't get to keep it.
No.
Luther has been totally snapped since the beginning of the movie, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. What do they do at work? Why is he calling one lady, but talking to a whole nother one in the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, just thought that was funny. The woman in the picture was not the woman in the film.
Even though he refers to the woman in the picture as Delilah, they're clearly not the same person.
But this is probably the only backpack romance story I've ever seen. Why is the bag killing people not enough for him?
No.
He didn't even know the backpack was killing people.
Why?
Until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Michael Bay's cousin, maybe.
Something that just crossed my mind. How did the backpack know Delilah's address in order to have itself delivered there?
It delivered itself there. I don't know.
How did it know her address? How did it know where to go?
How did it jump in a pool and when it was floating on the inner tube be completely dry?
I'm trying to figure out why nobody questioned the backpack skateboarding through the center of town.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the backpack jumps into the pool, but like a second later when it's floating on the inner tube, it's completely dry.
Yeah.
And somehow it orders takeout.
Yeah, orders takeout.
We are thinking way too much into this damn movie.
Where did he get a gun?
Maybe I should have grabbed the emergency water.
I'm telling you, it had to
Yes.
have been Dora's backpack. That's why how it had the gun. That's why it's got a drill. It's got all these things that you would need on an adventure, but just not a good one.
Glop.
They need to make Amityville Backpack 2 Dora's Revenge.
Man, the gun was completely out of character for the back.
Yeah, what's the back shooting people? It's got a drill. Like, what the? Why does it need a gun?
It can
I guess
strangle
when it's
people
not
with the
wearing the
strap. It has
backpack.
the drill inside of it. You know, the gun was completely out of character. It's kind of the same
Out of
thought that
character
I had
for a
about
backpack.
Buck the Clown and Terrifier. You know, at the end of
The gun
Terrifier
is-
1, he pulls out the gun and shoots the girl. I'm like, at this point, there was never any inclination, you know, any that he had a gun or that he would be the kind of person that would rely on a gun. And
There wasn't any inclination that he wasn't either.
Yeah, I know, but it just seemed like it was completely out of character. But then you see it happen again, and I think 2 or 3, where he does actually use guns. And by that time, it's already in character. But he always seemed like a hands-on. The gun was the last resort for Art Clown.
No, I mean it totally was, but like he was using everything and anything he could get his hands on.
Yeah.
At least there was some setup for that. The backpack, there was none. And there was just suddenly he's got a gun. It's like, oh, okay.
The gun was for when he couldn't actually get them to put him on.
I guess.
So he can get them at. Since they won't get close enough to me, I'm going to shoot at them. Oh,
It's something, man.
It made no
ranged
sense.
option.
It was just bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's just like why the
Everything's
toilet
back
had a
in the
gun.
Alrighty,
Probably the
guys.
same gun.
Actually, I think it was.
Yeah.
How about we pay some bills before we tell people why they
What
shouldn't ever watch this movie again?
Or why they shouldn't watch it in the first place?
Yeah. We shall be right back.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Door King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Octopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
Hello. So, in keeping with the usual things, the problem is there are 3 reviews and none of them are generally 5 stars. So, I figure we'll just read our usual favorite Amityville reviewers and from BNS about movies. There's notes. I hope you suffer podcast said that since everybody is doing these movie challenges now, we made the only one worth doing, Bring the Pain. Luther Boots, Mike Hartsfield goes to yard sale, finds a backpack that has killed a child with a stock video explosion, and that means I had to send the message to Erica from Unsung Horrors and pass the curse of this on to her, and that starts to kill everyone that comes close to him. Even Jacobs also made Evan Jacobs also made a Amityville death toilet, so I guess I have to watch this. Every SRS released Amityville movie has characters that just talk about everything. They narrate every moment of their lives. No one I've ever met talks like this, but yet this happens all over the movies. I realize we need to explain what is happening, but when the talking takes up most of the movie and people are given to saying things like, "Backpack, I think you're going to help me a lot," I lose my mind by the time the film like this is over. What doesn't help this is I usually watch Amityville movies alone, but for some reason my wife came in and started watching this one and realized she had made a mistake marrying me. I think Josh thinks the same about on it. She had so many questions about why I would spend so much time watching this and why I was afraid to show her my letterbox list because I'm too old to start over again. Anyway,
Wow, this movie nearly ended a marriage.
I'm so surprised none of them have ended mine, to be honest. Anyway.
You're stuck with me forever.
Whoa.
Yay. What it does have going for it is shots inside the backpack, as well as the fact that the backpack looks just like the house on 112 Ocean Avenue. It also has the threat of a cat death. Spoiler warning, it survives. And a lot of people killed by, yes, a backpack. Who knew that my old Jansport could have been so evil? There were moments of this that were so uncolor balanced, and the sun had been bleeding into the image that I was shocked that it was filmed by someone who had never seen a camera or a movie before. Then there would have been a great shot or a cool slow motion pushed into someone. I wonder, can you tell when one of these movies is a parody anymore? Now, to the tone of Strokes 9's Little Black Back. I don't know that movie for that song, so please forgive me.
Little Black Backpack. Yeah, that was a really popular song for a while.
Okay, don't want to watch this. You say why not? Don't want to think about movies about this haunted town. There's totally no good reason for my wife to care about this little Amityville backpack.
Haunted
you can
town.
watch this on Tubi or...
Sorry,
What?
that kind of threw me off. Not this haunted town. That threw me off.
Movies about the town.
Yeah. You can watch this on Tubi or order on Ronin Film Flex or Amazon. They have this interesting deal with 2 other Amityville movies for $30 right now. How I know? I was trying to figure out if there were any reviews about this movie.
If you pay for this movie, I feel sorry for you. Please get your money.
If it was included with 2 other movies for $30, that means they valued this movie at $10.
But still
This
too
was the
much.
most expensive movie of the 3.
Either
Yeah.
that or they valued the other 2 movies more.
Yeah, that's possible.
According to what she said, apparently they did.
Yeah. When the deal with this one was the most expensive of the 3. So that tells you how flabbergasted I was. How do we move on to the last portion? Ron, what do you rate this? And should anybody even know it exists?
All right. Before I go that route, I wanted to show you something.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can see what that is.
It looks like Deadly Grounds coffee.
I know.
That's what it is.
What's the flavor?
It's Dragula
Dracula's Dark Roast.
Okay.
Now, there was a point, I don't think he's doing it anymore, but Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster, had like a little contract with Deadly Grounds and endorsing their coffee. So they came out with the Dragula Dark Roast, which was the particular flavor that he was endorsing. And I had the opportunity to meet Butch Patrick at Trans World in St. Louis about the time that he was endorsing it. And I bought a bag of the Dragula Dark Roast. And I have to say, it's pretty good. It's pretty strong stuff. So I don't think they still have the Dragula Dark Roast available, but I just figured since we are sponsored by Deadly Grounds that, hey,
Product placement.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yay, product
we
placement.
use it, we not only advertise it, but we are actual users of the product. I know I have, and Dell has. So
I have.
and Ginny
I have
has.
I picked something up from my family who likes it quite a bit. I'm not a big coffee drinker because of stomach problems, but I love the smell of it when they're making it.
So anyway, kudos to you, Deadly Grounds. Thanks for having a really cool product, and we appreciate it. And so,
And if you
about this
one more
movie,
thing, if you want to see what
yes.
comes in a box, I have a post on our page of what you get when you order a couple of packs of Deadly Grounds coffee. I showed you my birthday box for Mom.
Yeah.
Now, please continue, Ron.
I thought about this in the past when I have done reviews and I haven't particularly liked the movie. I have tried to keep in mind that sometimes these movies that aren't that great get made because they are a passion project and they are something that the person believed in, that they saw through to fruition. And I would usually give them a point for that and not be too harsh on them for creating the movie because they had a passion for doing so. And that's how it got made. This movie, I cannot do that because one, they've already created a couple of other movies. You would think that after having 3 or 4 movies before this, that they would have fucking learned what the hell they were doing when making a movie, that they wouldn't have really shitty camera work, or that they would be completely off white balance, or that it would be all shaky, or that they didn't know how to freaking zoom or pan or anything like that. It's like they have a different camera person each time that doesn't know what the hell that they're doing. So I can't possibly imagine that this is a passion project and it's only a money grab. And because of that, I can't really give them a point for it because I know that they've already done other movies and there doesn't seem to be any passion associated with this movie whatsoever, like there was with Prey. I give Prey a lot of shit, but at least those people had a passion for what they were doing in that movie.
Had a passion for Christ.
And I gave Prey like the lowest score I've ever given a movie with a 1 because nothing really happens. But I'm going to put Prey above this fucking movie. And I'm giving it a 0 because other than the cat, there's really no redeeming quality of this movie. And would I recommend it? Hell no. Not even, I don't even think that I would offer this movie to the CIA to use in their interrogation techniques. There's better movies for that.
Yeah.
I guess if you really want to mentally break a person, this would be their own personal hell of sitting in hell for eternity, having to watch this movie over and over and over again. That would probably do it.
I keep telling myself there has to be worse movies than this, and I keep thinking about even the ones that I think are bad still make me laugh. And this one was just, it didn't even do that.
I feel sorry for the people that made this movie, and they'll probably, I highly doubt that they'll ever see this episode, but in the case that they do, I'd hate for them to get defensive, like, well, what do you know? Like, like, I really want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe these are all really great people, and
I'm sure they're great people. Honestly, I'm sure they're great people.
It's just a shitty movie all around. It really is. I was trying to decide which was worse, this or Amityville Death Toilet. I'm almost inclined to think that this one is actually worse. But Death Toilet, I don't really think anything happened in that movie either.
Toilet humor.
Right?
Has some value.
Doesn't have that going for it.
Nope. All the dad jokes that could have been made about killer backpacks. I mean, I started off the show with he's just hanging around. I mean, they could have tried something. They didn't even go for the low-hanging fruit, man. Yeah,
I mean, even Monster had the toilet humor because there's like one whole scene where it's just flowing, literally.
That was a fun movie that had actual death scenes and an amazing soundtrack, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a good movie. It was a good bad movie.
With Monster, they tried.
Yes.
They knew what they were doing when they made the movie, and they said, we're going to fucking lean into this shit.
And it was fun.
I don't even get that impression with this movie. Like, this movie is so bad, let's just lean into it. No, they didn't even do that. It's just like, here's your scenario. Go for it. We're just going to piece it together and post and hope for the best.
They more swayed into it, I'd say. Kind of back and forth.
Oh, man. I mean, they could have made some kind of joke like the backpack carries a gun. It came strapped.
Yeah. That's another good one. Another great one. We're doing your work for you.
I just broke Tom Dog.
Yes, watch this podcast and then read the movie. It might actually be better.
I'm sorry. I'm really trying to find something about this movie that would give it some kind of redeeming quality. But if the cat's the only thing I can think of, and it wasn't even in half of the movie, I mean, what am I supposed to say?
And I gotta say, when that lady was dying, I think she got the dildo instead of the drill.
Yeah, right.
Based on her moaning while she was screaming.
And then there's like Luke.
I almost expect her to pop out a cigarette at the end of that.
If you've never seen Texas Dildo Massacre, that was a more amusing movie as a horror porn than this could ever hope to be. Because instead of Leatherface, it was Pussyface, if I remember correctly. And it was just the handle for a chainsaw and a giant vibrating dildo on the other end. That's what he killed people with, and it was fucking hilarious.
It's like they had the girl scream once, and then that was the only scream that they had to use, so they just kept looping it and repeating it and then modulating it, so it made this whole freaking, like dubstep mix soundtrack for her death.
I should get it.
Don't worry, I'll edit it out in post.
I kind of want to get that whole sequence and auto-tune it and see what happens.
You should. Man. Get it. God. So bad. All right, Raz, take it away so I can stop talking.
Man, as a filmmaker, I get how hard it is to make a movie, and even a bad movie. I've made my share of bad movies on purpose. But I never really want to give anybody a 1 because it hurts. The movies that I've been in and done, again, some of them were not great movies on purpose, but some of them also just weren't great movies. And it always sucks when you get that really crappy review, especially like from a podcast or something, but like you have to try. And like I could have taken my old broken camcorder that worked well enough and with what I know about running a camera, at least, could have made this movie in probably a day or two, and it would have been at least amusing or funny. And because of that, I'm going to give them a 1.5 because they made it. At least they made a movie, I guess. Because I can't. I just know at some point in time I'm going to find a true one, and I think it's this one, but I don't know, man. I don't want to waste my one on this movie, so I'm going to give it a 1.5.
Waste the one.
No. I don't want it to live. I don't want it to live rent free in my head as the worst movie I've ever seen, because then I'll be thinking about it. So I'll give it a 1.5.
James keeps trying to pull us around to his way of thinking for Prey, and I seriously think after watching this movie, I might be more inclined to put Prey on a higher pedestal.
That's what you got to think, man. James has seen a lot of B films. I've seen more than all of you. I really have, and so I really got to fucking think about that shit when I'm rating these movies. But if I give it a 1, I'll think about it forever. So it's got to be 1.5.
All right, that's fair. All right, Tom.
Now it's my turn. Oh boy. Now on some last reviews, the lowest I have gone was making solid deuces. And I don't want to do that to this movie. So I have to go even lower than that, even lower the low. I have to give this movie a 0.5. This was a mistake for me to.
This was a mistake.
This was, and I'm regretting this movie. Yes, I am grounded from picking movies.
Today was the day he was banned.
Well, I hope my next choice is a redeeming factor once some other when we're not doing the Amityville things, because I have a good choice in mind, and that's Attack of the Killer Donuts.
Oh, that's a great one. But also, if it makes you feel any better, you're only banned for the rest of this season.
I know.
Yeah.
I think there's only like one review to go.
Yes, there is.
And we're still gonna spin the wheel anyway.
Yep. The wheel. I wonder what it'll land on.
But hey, that's the beauty of it. I mean, you can't have a Tomb of the Terrible without the terrible wheel.
That's true. Or the tomb to bury myself fucking in, because I've seen it.
Hey, think of it this way. At least we didn't end the season on this movie.
Yeah, but that makes me worried about the last one.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Because if we, God forbid, if we ended this movie with ended this series with this, I probably would be banned from the next season.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this movie. Here's the thing about this movie. Before I watched this movie, my hair was the same color as Tom's.
I think I'm losing. I think I lost some. I think I did lose some more hair after watching this movie.
He used to have a head of hair before he watched this movie.
I had a beard when I started watching this movie.
I guess I had more black hairs than I do now.
Watch the episode we did yesterday. I had a full beard. Then today, man, I watched this movie and it's fucking gone.
I mean, look at James. Look what it did to James.
I know. Fuck, he's not even here.
This movie broke everybody.
He ended up in the hospital.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom Dog.
Okay, Josh.
Look what you did, you little jerk. Sorry, I had to go home alone for a second.
Hey, I don't mind.
Oh man.
But
I want to give
the only
this -12, but technically it's a 0 through 10, so I have to technically give it a 0.
I didn't know we could give zeros until today, so that helps to know.
We didn't find out if Tom would recommend this movie.
To be
we didn't know until this movie played that we were going to lower it to 0. Fair enough.
Because holy crap, I miss Prey now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
I might actually be willing to bear the sequel to Prey because of this piece of shit.
I'm telling you, Dora's Revenge.
Yep.
To be fair, Ron, the only recommendation I'm asking for is a good AA. Amityville Anonymous.
Yeah.
That's the only. I need. This is what I need. I need a good therapist.
Amityville kitchen sink. That's what we need.
Right.
Yes.
Raz,
There is
don't give them any ideas.
type of place for this. For people who watch these, it's called the Fall.
Yeah.
Amityville garbage disposal.
Amityville, oops, I pooped.
Oops, I grabbed my
Alright.
Yep. Then oops, I did it again.
Yeah, I give this a 1 because they tried.
No, they didn't.
They tried to find a way to make money. So on that
Right,
note,
all right.
I
No,
don't
wait.
recommend it to anybody.
Did they rip off the Spaceballs sequel? Amityville Backpack to search for more money.
Right.
Pretty much.
The son of Amityville Backpack. Amityville.
Amityville
Fanny
backpack.
pack.
Search for
Amityville
plot.
coin purse. Amityville billfold.
Oh boy, here we go.
Wait, what is the name of the movie?
Are you ready?
I can't read.
Amityville
What will it
Theater.
land on? Let's see.
Hope it lands on that advertisement on the.
I swear to God, if it lands on Amityville Backpack.
Theater. Amityville Theater.
Ooh.
I would laugh if it would have landed on the little line that was there off to the side.
Yeah.
And then we
Like, y'all are
expanded the
watching
line,
nothing.
and then we blew up the picture, and that little line just said Amityville Backpack on it. It went away.
No, I would have been pissed.
Okay.
So Janie, do you recommend this movie?
Fuck.
No.
No, nobody recommends this movie. Not even
I
Bulldog?
recommend you don't watch this movie and you burn it. All
Yeah,
copy.
exactly. There you go.
I recommend it gets buried. Buried.
Hey, can we do a
buried,
class action
buried.
lawsuit against Tubi for the mental damage, that we had to suffer while watching this movie?
Not against Tubi, but I'm pretty sure we could do it against the filmmakers.
No, you chose to watch it.
Well,
can't
there was no warning. We were not. They did not give us a proper warning.
You chose
Right,
to
there was
watch
no
it.
trigger warning at the beginning of this movie that
No,
we
it's
may
not.
be
There's nothing.
emotionally damaged or
You chose to
All
watch
copies need to be collected and taken over to Mariana Trench and dropped in.
Okay, they're going to be buried underneath Thanksgiving 2, which is buried underneath the ET Atari game
That's somewhere in a
in the desert.
landfill in Arizona.
Yes,
Yeah,
Or
it's
That
Nevada.
was New Mexico.
Nevada. Is it
the
New
only
Mexico?
movie worse than
It starts
Thanksgiving.
with an
I
N.
don't know if you have that many bad things in one place. I hear it wakens up an evil demon.
Yep. The
Curse
I'd
us
rather
all.
play the ET video game, to be fair, than watch this movie.
Yeah, me too. I'd rather fall in the hole 50,000 times over and fucking over and over again for no damn reason.
I never really fell in the hole that much when I played it.
That's the whole point of the
actually
game. You just get out of a hole and fall into another, and that's how you play the game, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I know Raz could do a better movie than this, and he could direct us to do a better movie than this. And
Then do a
my
podcast, only
$12-year-old
$5,000.
could write a better script. I know for a fact my 12-year-old can write a better script because she did when she was 5.
Yep.
Anyway, Ron, where do you want people to find you?
Once I'm finished scrubbing my brain with bleach after watching this movie, and maybe taking a couple of weeks off to get my, mentality screwed back in properly, then you can probably find me on my author page on Facebook, Ronald W Gillespie Jr. -author, for all the things that I should be writing and have not been. You can also find me on the TikTok for as long as it stays up before it suddenly decides that it no longer works in the U.S. Under at Wolf Dojo, WULFDOJO. I'm a martial artist by training, and I try to make martial arts content. If you're into that sort of thing, then go check it out. If not, then you can find me parading around in fishnet stockings and a thong at various haunts, like Hell's Dungeon coming up next weekend for their Christmas event.
This coming weekend.
Yeah, this coming weekend. Or this Friday, actually.
Actually, that's cinema night.
Yeah, well, I will be cinnamon, but not cinema.
Alrighty, Raz.
Man, you can definitely find me in Amityville. I'm preparing for my new movie, Amityville Raz. It's just going to be me for an hour and 19 minutes, illustrating every single thing I'm doing while surfing the internet and saying Amityville at least 17 times. So look forward to that. Yeah, you can find me at RazTSlasher.com and everywhere. Jenny has put me on social medias. There's something called. Do I have a what's the stack thing now? What's it called? Blue Stack? Is that what it's called?
Blue Sky?
It's Blue Sky and Substack.
So, I don't know the difference.
You have a Blue Sky, which is a weird version of Twitter.
Okay, I have a Blue Sky now too.
Whenever we figure out how you want to do your newsletters, we can do your Substack.
Okay, I thought they were all the same thing. I have no idea what. See, this is why I have a Jenny. You can find me as Beetlejuice this coming Friday at Hell's Dungeon, and as the Ghost of Christmas Future and J.A. Sock on Saturday at Hell's Dungeon. So definitely come out for that, guys. And I believe even Pyle's going to be joining us, and Matt will be there, and both Matts will be there. Lots of people are going to be there. So, come do that. And then Saturday morning, come to our Breakfast with the Grinch at Hell's Dungeon because it's going to be awesome.
Grinch.
That will be amazing. What about the Tom Dog?
He'll be at AA.
You can find me. I know, right?
He'll be in the rest of the season.
You can find me on Blue Sky at TomDog247. Also on the YouTube channel at TomRK69. I just had a brain fart there. This Thursday on Channel X, we got some cool stuff. We're just got a couple more episodes left before our year-end wrap up, and so yeah, we're going to be extremely busy between the second and the third week of December, which is the Christmas week, holiday week. So Saturday and Sunday, we got some Wrestling Prime wrap-ups to do. We're going to finish the season that way, and then on the 24th, we got our holiday special, and take a break on Christmas Day, and then 26th through the 31st, we got our year-end wrap-up event that we do every year. Of course, you guys are all invited to join if you want, and work around the schedules and everything like that. So I'll be spreading the word either sometime this week or next week. But yeah, but there's only one way to follow all that tomfoolery that I'm going to be doing between now and then, and that is face hug. That subscribe button.
The Amityville subscribe button.
Yeah.
Instead of brain farts, can we call them brain backpacks?
Yeah. The sequel, The Son of Backpack.
Alrighty.
Amityville Fanny Pack.
Son of a backpack.
Where do you want people to find you?
Let me out of the trunk. And find her.
Yes, I keep him in my steamer trunk with all the blankets his grandmother made. It's stuffy in here. And me, I'm hiding in your closet.
The Amityville trunk.
And You can find me at, well, everywhere where I'm pretending to be other people. And if you actually want to find me at Friday Wave with the Library in the Blue Box, Fake Horror, Allight, and Jennifer Elliott, my author page.
She pretends to be herself too.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I pretend to be me. So, yeah. That's odd when you pretend to be yourself.
It's like
Anyway.
Inception.
Yes.
World's best ventriloquist. She can be people all over the country.
Yeah.
Everything keeps leading
Fuck,
me
this
back
movie
to
was
Ohio.
bad.
Say what?
I said, fuck, this movie was bad. By just reminding everyone that this was really bad.
On that note, let's end everything and
I
pretend
think
we
it gave
didn't
me
do
herpes.
No, it did give you herpes.
It was space herpes too. That's the worst. Everybody knows that.
It gave you herpes and
Backpack herpes.
Alrighty. On that note,